Welcome to Relay Radio. I'm your host, Derek Dreyer. To my right is my co-host, Daniel Hong. We will be lighting the torch of knowledge to bring you exhilarating insights, expert tips, and inspiring stories.
Immerse yourself in the world of business, entrepreneurship, and life as we pass the baton of knowledge, empowering you to sprint towards greatness.
Today's guest embodies what it means to take a chance. Her family relocated to Texas from Ecuador so she can attend Texas A&M University, hook 'em. And soon after, she launched her YouTube channel in 2015. What started as a hobby later turned into her full-time job. She has earned massive popularity in the Latin community for her lifestyle, fashion, and travel vlogging with her family. Owner of Kuya, Blossom Luxury Shop, interior designer, home makeover specialist, Michelob enthusiast, she is Carol Rodriguez Del Toro Mora.
Yes, I love it.
I definitely said your name in the whitest way possible, too.
Mora.
Mora. There you go.
There you go.
Hey, we've been, here's my pun. We've been radio silent for 3 weeks.
Crickets, bro.
God damn it.
Radio. Yeah, we definitely haven't done a podcast in 3 weeks yet.
Radio, because like Relay Radio, but
he's
no,
making a dumb joke.
We had 17 weeks of consistency.
Man.
Yeah. And then you know.
What happened?
Well, like for our business, we have 3 channels of YouTube. So like 3 separate channels, and then like
we added more to our plates, so we're just kind of like getting that up and running, and then so the podcast kind of slipped through the cracks a little bit, but we just kind of took it as a
season 2
little break, I guess, and we had a little intermission, I guess.
Yeah.
But let me explain to you our podcast.
You don't like the radio silent joke?
No, nobody liked it.
Fuck, okay.
Like, even the AC turned off, bro. That's how quiet it was. Okay, so our podcast is called Relay Radio, structured like a relay. So a relay race, there's 4 legs. So, you know, each person hands off to the next one in a relay. Our podcast is a little bit similar to that. So we have a warm-up. So we're going to ask you like some trivia warm-up questions.
Oh, my God.
And then we're going to go into like different legs of the race, which would be different legs of topics for us. So the first one, we'll talk about like your personal life. We'll talk about social media, and then we'll talk about business. And then we'll talk about any like goals, retrospect, or advice or anything that you give people. And then we'll cross the finish line.
That's awesome.
You ready?
So organized. I love it because I can just go all over the place.
Yeah.
We love that.
Talk for 2 hours and then.
We try to keep it like a, you know, like a main theme, right, or topic, so that, you know, we can actually have good conversation. That's not just. I mean, we definitely go on tangents.
All over.
Like we go on some dumb tangents sometimes, but.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you ready for the warm up?
Yeah.
Let's do
as
it.
far as I can be, I guess.
Trivia questions. All right. You have 30 seconds.
Oh, God.
And the first one is name the 5 oceans.
Pacific, Atlantic, oh, God damn it, the normal ones. What's the one?
We can skip if you can't remember them.
No, I can't. I'm trying to remember in Spanish so I can translate.
Say it in Spanish.
Say it in Spanish.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to remember. Pacifico.
You're going to take all 30 seconds for one question.
Sorry.
How many stripes are on the U.S. flag? You're a citizen, so you should know this one.
Well, I know the stars are 50 and then 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the Texas state flower?
The purple one. What is it called? Blue bonnet. Is it?
What was Ecuador named after?
The equator?
Yes, that's it. In what ocean are the Galapagos Islands?
Pacific.
That's it. That was it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, she's the winner, bro.
What'd you get, 4?
She got 4.
4 out of 5?
No one has had 4 before.
She was halfway through the first one.
Wait, help me remember the
Pacific, Atlantic, Southern, Arctic, and Indian.
Okay, I did not know Arctic or Indian. I
know
was
the
trying to
Southern.
remember the.
What the fuck is the Southern Ocean?
Yeah, I know. I
That
don't.
doesn't sound.
That sounds like the Gulf of Mexico.
But you know
That's
what?
our
We
ocean.
did learn this in school. That's why I was trying to remember back in Ecuador, but I just can't. I could. It didn't.
She got 13. Damn, dude, she got 4, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, she's the only one. I don't
She's
think
like, I'm trying to remember in Spanish. Say it in Spanish.
What's
But I didn't
the
even
We're a
remember
bilingual
them in
podcast. You
Spanish.
know, sometimes we do podcasts in Spanish.
who got the most? Who got the second most? 3?
I think it was.
2.
I thought Alex got like 3 or 4.
No, he definitely did not get 4. No one's gotten
remember.
4 except Carol.
Yeah, I don't.
Damn.
Girl
Hey,
power.
leader,
remember.
leader,
Yes.
Well,
leaderboard.
cool. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about you now. So, tell us a little bit about growing up in Ecuador, and you know the reason that you came over to America, and just a little bit about that part of your life.
Yeah, well, okay, so I grew up in a pretty, I would say, regular family, very Hispanic. I mean, you both are married to Hispanics, so you guys know. So pretty typical, you know, my dad has always been an entrepreneur, and I always saw him, you know, working so much, but also spending a lot of time with us. So that always kind of, you know, I guess resonated with me as I was growing up, but pretty normal life, I would say. Come from a big family, a lot of like weekends with, you know, just traveling, family, spending a lot of family time together. That's as much as I can remember of my childhood is all about family. Like I have great friends and everything, but it was just, it always revolved around being with my family, helping my parents, being with my cousins, aunts, uncles, and going into trips with them and just creating memories, which is one of the things that I miss the most, I would say, just because in here I do have my immediate family with me, but I don't have my extended family. And so it's kind of hard on that sense, I would say. But, you know, my dad always says he never thought we would move to the US because we had a pretty great life in Ecuador. But then, you know, I guess he started seeing that, you know, security and opportunity more than anything was lacking a little bit. And so he started looking into ways of moving his company over here because he wanted us to attend school in the US for sure. But as a Hispanic dad, he didn't want to separate the family. So he said, if my kids are going to eventually end up studying in the US, I need to move to the US. Which is pretty admirable to me because he left his friends, his ways, you know, lifestyle and all of that back just for us. So, you know, that's kind of where, at first, I didn't understand it because we moved my junior year. So to me, it didn't make sense. I was like, Dad, we can just finish senior year and move. Like, why are you making us, you know, just move without graduating with our friends? All of my friends are here and all of that. But now I see it, I understand it. But yeah, it was just kind of like he came over, he saw an opportunity, and he was like, we are ready to go, and we, you know, we need to go. And I didn't want to, obviously.
Did you speak English?
Yeah, when you're
No.
Oh, so you moved here in high school
Yes.
with no English.
I did. I gotta say, I knew the basics because we were in a bilingual school.
Okay.
But so we thought we got it. You know, I was like, I'm not worried. I know English. I'm in a bilingual school. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. Walked into that first class,
Yeah.
and I swear I thought it was gibberish. I was like, what?
Didn't understand a word.
A word.
Yeah.
A word, because the way you learn is different. Like,
Yeah.
my name
So
is
one class.
Carol.
So you did your senior year in Texas, right?
junior and senior.
Okay, so junior and senior.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you have to take like ESL classes then?
Yes.
Okay.
I did, but my mom pulled us out of there immediately. She did not like the fact, well, in ESL, everyone has a second language. So most, especially in Texas, everyone spoke Spanish. And my mom realized that we were actually speaking Spanish instead of like learning English, because that was kind of like the comfort zone to go to a ESL class. And she went and she was like, you need to pull my kids out of there because they're not learning English and they're becoming friends. She was like, you can be friends with everybody, but I want you to practice English. And obviously, who are you gonna, like, if my friend's talking Spanish, I'm not talking Spanish.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Facts.
So she pulled us out of ESL, and I was so mad at her, but that was really smart because that pushed us to just learn. And, you know, they did explain to her, they're like, it's going to be harder for them because we help them with homework here, and we do this and that. And my mom was like, I'd rather them fail, but they need to learn English. And I would say within less than a year, we were pretty comfortable. I mean, I still have my accent, but I can communicate and I can understand
Yeah, for
everything.
sure.
So,
Yeah, I definitely think that living in an area where like they're speaking another language, you kind of like it's almost like survival instinct, right? You like have to pick up on it. You have to
Yeah.
learn it faster. So
yeah.
How did so like when your dad moved here, obviously he left all his business there. Like how long did it take for him to start up his business again?
A while.
Yeah.
So he did his visa was an investor's visa and he brought his company in.
Oh wow, cool.
But he didn't know the area. So he brought his company, he bought, I think, like 2 trucks. He has a trucking company. He bought 2 trucks and he was like, okay, I'm going to start my trucking business. But obviously it's not that
different.
easy.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't know where to find loads. He didn't know companies, how to do the distribution. He didn't know the rates. He didn't know any of that. So that's kind of like where he started learning, and he obviously was the boss in Ecuador. And then he came here and he was the driver, he was the mechanic, he was the dispatcher, he was the person that called and got the jobs, he was the person that had to go beg for the jobs.
Basically just start over.
yeah, I got to do
start over.
everything.
And it was
So-
you said he did the same thing in Ecuador, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But essentially just start over. Damn, that's cool. That's really awesome.
Did you know that Carol had a driver in Ecuador?
Yeah, I think so. We talked about that. Yeah.
Rohimio.
Remigio. Remigio.
Damn, where he at now?
Rohimio.
Shit.
I know.
always make
I miss. I
having
mean,
a
I
driver.
don't want to go on a tangent, but honestly, we're so spoiled in
Yeah.
our countries because it's not just me.
It's a
I mean,
different
ask
way of
Jess.
living.
Yeah.
She had
Yeah, the
people that
lifestyle's
helped her.
very
It's
different.
just
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
It's different,
Yeah.
and they end up becoming part of your family. I grew up with a nanny with. And it's just different.
Yeah.
And so I miss him dearly. I miss Regimio.
Yeah.
It's Remigio. I used
Yeah,
to,
no.
I used to
Regimio.
joke with
Yeah.
him, and I would call him Regimio. But
Ongoing joke.
Yeah.
With us all.
So then how do you feel like your family has adapted through the years? Like did they see any struggles like as they're moving here?
most definitely, I would say yes. But since I was young, I kind of just focused on me selfishly. Like, we would come back from school and just cried because we didn't have any friends.
Yeah.
I was a junior, Belen was a senior, my older sister. And obviously in Ecuador, we had a life. We would go out with our friends. We knew where to go. We know who to speak
Absolutely,
to.
yeah.
Now you're shocked in here. You don't know the language. Everyone, junior and senior, has already their group. Nobody, like, as sad as it sounds, it's literally like a movie. Nobody wanted to eat lunch with us. Nobody wanted to talk to us in the bus. We didn't drive. So as seniors in here, no seniors taking the bus.
Yeah.
They're all driving their own cars. We didn't have a car. We
Yeah.
had to drive the bus. And that was kind of quote, like, you're not so cool because you're riding the bus and you're a junior and a senior.
You don't have a
And-
you don't have a car.
Yeah,
Or a driver. You don't have Rohimio.
Well, we didn't even know how to drive, So it's just, it was a shock. And we focused on that shock because that was like our, bubble. But honestly, now that I know all the struggles that my mom and my dad went through, I was like, that's so selfish. Like, I'm over here saying, like, I don't have friends to talk to while my parents are literally struggling to, give us a better life.
Yeah.
And
I don't think any teenager at that age would
Yeah.
have any other response than what you guys had. That's normal for that age,
What
right?
about
Like
my
all you care about is
friends?
your,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
friends and what you're gonna do. So how did you guys overcome? Did you eventually make friends, or like?
Yeah, well, yeah, it took time. So actually, Belen graduated. She had it the toughest. She graduates and then she goes to college, and it opens up a new door because nobody knows each other in college. So it's like a new,
Yeah.
there's no groups. Everyone's new. She's a freshman. And so she makes like a little group of friends. And I kind of just tag along, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna hang out with my sister and kind of become part of this group. I did, create some friendships and everything at the end, but it's just, I would say, superficial.
Yeah.
My best friends are my friends that I grew up with, my friends from Ecuador that I know since I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
I don't have any friends from high school here, no, but I do have friends from college. So eventually got better. I would say, but it was rough, as a 15-year-old and not having, not being asked to go to prom or to do all this like fun high school things. You're kind of like, well, this sucks.
Our common theme that we've kind of been interviewing is like millennials. So it is cool to always like get an inner glimpse of like how each millennial grew up, because I think the common theme for us has kind of been like the family just moved here. There's really not anything, they didn't have a lot of money, or they had a complete lifestyle change and they didn't know how to adapt. It's like, it's rare that like we've had someone that came here while they were like in high school. And so like for you, you're in a phase of your life where, when you're in high school, you kind of know who your friends were, and then you're just kind of ripped out of that scene where you didn't know how to adapt. So like, how did you, I guess, Belin's now in college and then you were still in high school. Like, what did you do? Like, how did you make new friends, like during school, or did you just keep eating alone?
I would eat it. Well, you know what we did? We found out that in Ecuador, school was so small that when you go to lunch or recreo, right? The whole school goes to recreo, and you have fun and you eat and whatever. In here, high schools are so big that your fourth period dictates if you have A lunch, B lunch, C lunch, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, we go to lunch and I'm thinking everyone's out. So I'm over here looking for Belen. I'm like, where is she? Cannot find her. And we found out that it was because we had different periods. We went and we cried to it wasn't like a principal, it was somebody that assigns you classes.
Assistant, counselor, your counselor?
Counselor, and we're like, please, like we literally do not fit in here. Like, can you please let us have the same fourth period, or at least like in the same list, so we can at least have lunch together. She was super nice about it. Miss Spellman, I can still, she was beautiful. Like anything we would ask, she would try to help us. So that was like our little angel in school. And she was like, okay, we'll do it. And so she changed Belen. We started having lunch together. And so that's one of the things that I'm like, just having her as my sister and my best friend, it's just been like, she's been there through it all.
Yeah.
And so I would eat lunch with her. And then eventually, like I said, I did meet Laura. Like there was this girl that she was pretty nice to me. I met her in ESL and we kind of like clicked, and, and so I would be with her, hang out with her, but it was never like my group of friends. So I would say I never quite fit in high school.
Yeah.
Just because I think I came so late in the game that it was hard, but at the same time, I was just like, I need to get out of here and I need to go to college. Like that was my goal.
Dang, no high school boyfriend?
No, no.
How different was, do you think the lifestyle in like Ecuador was versus like US?
Oh my God, so different, so different. We're so spoiled over there. It's nicer here. Like, I just remember like little things like going into high school here and you get paper and you get like laptops and you get like all these different things that in Ecuador
You also went to a pretty big high school here though.
Yeah.
Which high school?
You went to Seven Lakes, right?
Seven Lakes.
Holy
She
shit,
went to a really good high school.
That's
though.
super prestigious. Goddamn. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, like
They had like the best sports teams like across like
Yeah, it's,
honestly,
it
all of
was
Houston.
nice.
all the high schools in Katy are
Well,
really
and it was
nice.
new. So I was
Yeah,
the
brand
first
new.
graduating class from
wow.
Seven Lakes.
Yeah.
And it was nice. It was nice. I'm not like, and so in Ecuador, you barely have like, and I went to a private school in Ecuador. It was a pretty good school, but everything had to be bought by your parents.
Oh, wow.
You know, you don't get handout paper and they give you all the supplies and all these things. So, or soccer teams, like my brother played soccer and football for Seven Lakes. And the way they treated those boys, like they're
like trophies.
freaking celebrities. And I'm like, in Ecuador, if he wanted to play, my dad had to buy all his stuff. Like, no, you know, there was none of that.
High school
And
sports,
so,
sports are very big here. Yeah.
So in that sense, it was kind of cool. I'm like, wow, the schools look like they're, I don't even know how to describe it. Like,
Seven Lakes is fucking nice though.
Yeah.
Did you go to any football games?
Yes,
you
of
experience
course.
it?
Yeah. Because of my brother, he
Yeah.
played,
Oh,
and,
that's true.
and yeah, so,
So
and
was
he was
he?
pretty good at soccer.
So was he like a freshman then when you were a senior, or was he?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because he's 4 years younger than me. And then Katie went to middle school first. So they have a completely different experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my brother and my little sister, they love the US. They
More
were so
Americanized.
stoked. Yes.
Yeah, high school's a different beast from middle
Yes.
school for sure.
They're best friends. They're friends up to, until now. They're from the US,
Yeah.
from their high school.
Yeah.
So again, it was a completely different
Yeah.
Yeah.
experience.
I mean, that's just the phase, right? Like you guys came in towards the end of high school.
Yeah.
What made y'all choose A&M?
Well, my cousin graduated from A&M.
Okay.
And she, lived here, would always go back and visit, and she was just, you know how Aggie fans are. It was like,
Yeah, definitely.
it's
It's like a
She drank the she drank the
yes.
Kool-Aid.
And so
all about it.
Belena started it with the whole like, this is amazing, because we would see videos and pictures and like the games and the school, and she would always wear her shirts and so proud.
Yeah.
And so for us in Ecuador, we're like, that's cool. Like she's
Yeah.
going to college in the US, and this is like kind of like aspirational, like you want to do that. And so Belen started talking about it. She was like, Dad, I want to go study like an A&M, blah, blah, blah. And so that's when my dad was like, I think she's serious. Like, I think she really wants to leave. Obviously, we didn't know the process that,
Yeah.
So
it's
he's
not
like,
you
he's
get
like,
in.
we're all coming with you.
Yep.
Gotta take the
So
SAT.
so it was Berlin then that started like the move here.
Yes.
Wow.
So she was, and then I think that it all just
the
fell
older
into
sibling's
place.
always the guinea pig.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it was probably like in your dad's mind, right? And that was just like kind of the thing that pushed him like, okay, let's make this happen.
And he started seeing, like I said, security, we would always have to, that's the reason why I had a driver. It wasn't really like it helped my parents for pick up and drop off because we went to private school. It's not like we
Yeah.
had a bus come and pick us up or whatnot, but it also security. So he would always like drop us off at after school activities, and then he would stay there and make sure that, we were okay, pick us up, bring us back home, like taking the bus or taking.
Was it like getting unsafe? Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
And then did you graduated high school in what, 09?
08.
08. Okay, so 08. And then you went to A&M. How was your college life?
Awesome.
Oh, damn. Oh, shit.
Yes.
that's where she met her name.
Rager.
That's where she met her
Yes.
name.
Wait, that is?
Yes, I went with him.
Wait,
So
he went
we
to
moved-
A&M too?
Yes.
Yeah, a bunch of Aggies.
Yeah.
So how did you, when did you meet him?
I met him literally the summer before starting to apply for college. So I was in junior college, because my parents had Belen, and it was kind of like an adjustment because we were international students, so tuition is
Yeah, double.
almost double.
Yeah.
And so my dad at this point, they went through a lot of things. My dad got scammed, and basically the person that stole his money took my college money because he had saved some money for school. He knew school in the U.S. was expensive, and so he had some money saved for Belen, and then for me, he invested that money with a guy on a like tire business. The guy took his money, and my dad, I remember he just told me, he's like, you gotta give me a couple years. Can you go to junior college? And I said, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
what was my option? I said, of course, Dad, yeah. But I do remember, I was like, Dad, give me the number of the guy. I'm going to call in and I'm going to tell him that he stole my college money. And I called him. He never picked. I did. I
You
called him.
fucking
I
flew
could
back
I could totally see you doing that.
Yes.
I
You
could
went
see
to
you doing
Ecuador.
Yeah. Yeah. I called him and I was like, please, like this was my
that. You
college.
took
He
my
didn't-
money.
He didn't even pick up,
Yeah.
Later we learned that he owed the IRS millions, and so he wasn't going to pay my dad,
Yeah.
whatever. But so I started junior college, and it was different, a completely different ball game. I met some friends. Belen had friends in A&M. I had like the cool sister that was going to A&M. We would go up there and visit her. She was already, she had her group of friends. And then in one of these outings, I meet Hernan. And he actually caught my eye. It's a whole story, but the reason why I kind of became even more interested is because he buys me a drink. I go to him to the bar because I'm like, I need to see like the drink, kind of like my mom would always be like,
Yeah,
don't drink anything like from anybody.
Yeah.
And so I go see that he, gives me the drink. And when he goes to pay, he pulls out an A&M credit card. Like it had the A&M thing. And I'm like, wait, do you go to A&M? He's like, no, but I do want to go. And I'm like, my sister goes there. And he's like, yeah, I want to study petroleum engineering. And I'm like, my sister's is studying petroleum engineering. He's like, no way. And so I called over Belen. They started talking. And so we kind of, started.
Yeah.
We had
Yeah.
one more
It's like
thing
an
in common.
icebreaker. It's an
yes,
icebreaker.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he also came from Venezuela, so you guys have that in common too. Yeah, for sure.
He came literally like a year after I did. So I came in '06. He came in '07. Same thing, security, all of these different things. And so we went together to A&M.
Yeah. Man,
It was awesome.
Nice.
And now you're married.
And now we're married.
Yep.
Twice.
So fast
Yeah.
forward. So fast forward to around. So you graduated in what? 2013,
Yes.
2012. So 2013. So fast forward into the social media side. Like, how did that come about?
Okay, I graduate. I start working in a construction company, and I love my job. But Hernan gets shipped over to, he moves to Midland. He gets a job in Midland, and so
Odessa. Is that Odessa?
the
yes,
same. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
neighboring. Yeah.
neighboring. He lived in Odessa for a little bit, and then Midland, like it's kind of the same thing. But he gets a job offer from there, and it's amazing. He can, we're graduated.
college,
Like,
yeah,
what are you gonna
yeah.
do? Like, I'm gonna stay here for my girlfriend.
And that was a period where like everyone who was an engineer who had like graduated college like got a job right away.
Yeah.
That was a period of time where it was very like a big deal.
Well,
Like, it
especially
wa-
if you're a petroleum engineer.
Yeah,
like,
well, that
you're,
too.
like guaranteed
yeah.
a job.
But it was so, I remember those moments too. It was such a big like wave that companies would come to the college and just like fight to recruit engineers because like Jess was an engineer.
Yeah.
So like that was a great wave.
Yeah.
So,
At
anyways,
that moment,
yeah.
absolutely.
So then you graduated college and then did you move to Midland?
No, Hernan wanted me to. Yes. So
Come with me.
yeah.
Baby.
So I actually Belen and I decided to move out of my parents.
Nice.
And she, a petroleum engineer, she also got a great job.
Oh, she's a petroleum engineer.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Damn, that's a big fucking deal. Shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
And so actually, I didn't get a job right out of college.
Mm-hmm.
They did as petroleum engineers. I had a little bit of a harder time. But, you start bringing all this money in.
Yeah,
and
you're
Belen
making
and I
six
are
figures
like,
right off the rip.
we are right after college.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're out of here. Not because we didn't
Love you, bye.
Yeah, we're like out. But like, I grew up in a very strict household, and my dad was super strict. Like, for the moment I started dating Hernan, he was not allowed to stay over. He was not allowed to. He would
Go
come to the
upstairs,
door.
couldn't go upstairs.
Yes.
Oh my God, I remember those days.
We would watch.
Door has to stay open.
Yes,
Yeah.
we would watch TV in the room.
Mm-hmm.
He would have to drop me off at 1 in the morning if we went out. Clubs.
Shit, 1 in the morning.
Yes.
Shit,
That's
my shit was 9
That's
p.m.,
early,
bro.
yeah.
Goddamn.
No, but we're already at. I mean, how old are we here?
Yeah.
We're already older.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Oh
wanna say
yeah, that's true. You're out of college.
Yes.
Damn.
So I'm like, what am I doing?
I'm an
like
adult.
clubs, we lived in Katy. And so an hour
nothing-
drive
there's-
from
there's
the club,
nothing
like it's
there,
just, it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm out of here. So Belen and I moved to, we're just like, we moved to
Midtown.
River Oaks. We went,
Oh.
yeah, our first apartment was in River Oaks.
Nice.
I had no job. This is
Yeah.
the stupidest decision ever. But Belen is like, don't worry, like I can support both of us.
Hey,
And well,
shit.
yeah, she bought me my first YouTube camera.
What?
Yes. And so, anyway, we move out. We're living our best life as, I have my sister paying for everything. I just get to stay home, go to the gym. There was a gym. This is when I get into fitness as well.
Nice.
Because I go to the gym down at in our apartment complex. I was living life, and Hernan is in Midland. And he would buy me a ticket every other weekend to go visit him. And so it was fine. It was good. But
He had that oil money. Fly you out every weekend.
Yeah,
baby.
for real.
yeah. Well, and then so he's like, well, eventually I get a job. It takes me less than a year, but a couple of months. I get a job. I love it. I start working, and, it's just, everything's
construction
great.
company, right?
Yes. So it was just, this is the time where I'm realizing like all the crap we went through in high school is paying off. The sacrifices my dad did is paying off. I see it now. I see it. And so it's great. I'm flying to Midland every weekend. It's shithole. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry if you live in Midland. Like, I
Yeah, there's nothing there.
No.
It's just
No.
empty. Yeah.
It's a shithole. I think
It's
it
probably
still
a little
is.
bit. It's probably a little bit more grown now and better now.
I don't
but
know, and I
yeah,
don't care
still
to
couldn't live
find
there,
out because I do not want to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You've been there enough in your life.
so depressing.
Mm-hmm.
And Hernan was like, how about, you move here? Like, and I'm like, oh,
Because he's just there.
like,
He's there with
this
nothing.
is not,
Yeah.
yes. And so he's like, you don't have to work. I can provide for both of us. We can buy. And I'm like, who tells you I don't want to work? Like,
Yeah.
I got a job that I love. Like, I don't. He's like, I remember him, like, he hates shopping. He hates the mall. You guys know him.
Yeah.
And to cheer me up, he was like, let's go to the mall.
Mm-hmm.
We get to the mall, and I'm like, Hernan, get me out of here.
Yeah.
You walk in, red carpet. It's
In the mall?
Like the smell
Yeah.
was like that carpet had not been cleaned for a decade. I did not want. I was like, I've never wanted.
Where's
to
my
leave
driver? Find my driver.
Yeah, get Rahimi over here right now.
Pick me up.
It was horrible. I said, there's nothing about it that I. Plus, winter. It snows, but it doesn't really snow, so it's all dirty. It's all ice.
dirty
It's
snow,
all.
yeah.
It's horrible. And I said, I am never moving here.
Yeah.
You can keep me, keep flying me in and out, but I would never move here. And so, I was like, you need to look for a job in Houston. That's what you need to start doing. Because I'm not about to.
And he did.
And he did.
So then were you filming like social media stuff like while you were
Yeah, how
working
did
in the
that get
construction?
started?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. See, I went on a tangent.
Oh, no, you're
So
good, you're good.
The reason why I start my social media, it's because the weekends that I wouldn't go see Hernan, and I was by myself, Belen was working nonstop. She was traveling a lot. And all my friends were single.
Yeah.
And so I was the only one in a 5-year relationship at this point. And so to me, going out to clubs, I would always stand in the corner and I'm like, I don't want to get ready for this. Like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And so Katie tells me, and she's like, you should upload videos to YouTube. Like, she's always been into YouTube. And she's like, there's girls that just upload, like, I would love to see your routine, like, because I was working out and doing this, like your outfits, your things. And I'm like, do people like that? And she's like, well, it gives you something to do. And I was like, okay, well, sure. And so that's how I start, out of like just pure hobby and having something to do on the weekends that I wasn't with Hernan.
Yeah.
Because now here it goes, like a lot of people tell me, like, it was just the weekend, like, couldn't you just lay down and do nothing? No,
Yeah.
you don't know me.
Some
Hernan
people,
always
yeah.
tells me, like, can you chill and watch a movie with me? Like, no.
Yeah.
I'm always like cleaning, doing
know.
editing, texting, like something. I cannot just talking.
Yeah.
I cannot
You're
just
busy.
sit here and it's just
You're like
not
a
my thing.
busybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay busy.
So then
Yeah.
you started filming like your routine and things like that. So that was 2015.
Yeah.
And then when did you realize a point where you kind of left your construction job to kind of do this like full time?
For me, it was a little while. I actually quit my job in 2018.
Oh wow! So 3
officially.
years. So you were there for 3 years. That's good.
Yeah, 3 years, exactly. And it was a little bit because I wouldn't put all, how nowadays there's people that they're like, I want to work, I want to do YouTube, TikTok, whatever social media it is, and they go full force on it. For me, I wasn't making money, and I was like, this is my hobby. I'm not going to put my all into it. So I would record every now and then, and whenever I could, and, so it took a little while for it to, like, gain traction. And like 3 to 4 years when I decided, and the reason why I decided to go full force into social media and leave my construction job was not because I didn't like my construction job, because I love it. I love anything to do with construction and homes. It was because
No, we could tell. We could tell.
it was flexibility of time.
Yeah.
Time.
That's true.
Time. For me, it was just time. I would go to work from 6 in the morning, sometimes until 7, 8, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. And Hernan wasn't living with me, so I was like, I don't know, nobody's waiting for me at home. I'm good. But I just kept seeing like how my time was being consumed, like, and I was just like, this is one of the things that my dad would always talk about. He's like, when you are an entrepreneur, you don't work, it's not that you're gonna work less, because you're always gonna work more. But you can pick and choose when you work and have that time, organize that time.
Yeah.
Because now I can come take a break, record a podcast, go back and work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Work until 10, 11, who cares?
Yeah.
But I have this flexibility.
Yeah.
We have this flexibility
Right.
Yeah.
that not a lot of people have.
Yeah, for sure.
So
the
that
freedom.
became-
Yeah,
yes.
the freedom.
Yeah.
that became appealing to me. And I said, can I do this? Should I shift? I was not making enough money to
Yeah.
shift. But I said, okay, I got to give it a try.
Yeah.
And that's when
Figured
I
it
started.
out.
Yeah, and then the rest is history.
And the
yeah,
rest
yeah.
is history.
Yeah, I think that's around the time that we all met, and it was through social media, because I don't even know if you were following Ashley or...
I followed Ashley.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how
And
we all met.
you guys were building your townhome, the first one, and I had just finished building our townhome.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
I followed her on Snapchat. I really love her Snapchats and Instagram. I don't know why Instagram wasn't. Snapchat was the thing back then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
then it just like died
yes,
No,
Yeah.
Snapchat is very big right now.
for a lot of people though.
Very,
'Cause there's-
yeah.
A lot of us
Snapchat
don't
is
even use
huge.
Yes.
Snapchat anymore.
but not for me.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
not-
even have.
It's
Yeah.
weird. Like Snapchat is an app right now that like people, they're paying creators like a fuck ton of money to make content.
back, yeah.
Yeah, like an
I
insane
was
amount.
like, oh really? Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like
Goes
like,
back home,
yeah.
Google's
Yeah.
Snapchat.
Like Leo is making 6 figures a year just from doing Snapchat.
Just some Snapchat.
He has 400,000
Insane.
on Snapchat.
Oh wow.
crazy.
So like they allow you to
So
monetize.
yeah, maybe you do need
Yeah.
to go back and look at Snap.
Yeah, they allow you to monetize on Snapchat. Like it's a totally different platform now.
wow.
Apparently,
Yeah.
I don't know. I always associated with like shady shit. Like like
This is where you talk to your friends and say stupid shit. and
yeah,
it's
like
yeah.
like Snapchat just seems shady to me now. I don't
Yeah,
know why.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like one of
Daniel
those.
was using Snapchat to send nudes and shit. That's what you were doing.
Can't see it again. Can't see it again. And then when
Oh,
you
yes,
and
that
then when you
was
screenshot it, you know who screenshotted
Yes.
it.
Yes. That's good though.
Oh
that
my
was
God.
Good.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
yeah,
anyways.
so that's where kind
Yeah.
of where we met. And I remember, so I would always just enjoy Ashley Scott. I don't even know how I came across her page.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
But
how you found.
I don't, you know
Probably
how
through
sometimes
fitness,
like it's just, I feel like location, and then we were probably also looking at the same kind of stuff. 'Cause
Yeah.
we were both building and new home. Actually, that was our first home, your first home.
Yeah.
And so she just came up, and I really enjoyed her content. And then I remember seeing one Snapchat of you, and she had done something, and she recorded your reaction. And in that moment, I knew, I was like, babe, I told her that, I was like, this guy is your version in white.
Yeah.
I was like, look
Your
at
version-
him.
He's the white Hernan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so, because your reaction, it was like I was looking at Hernan. It was something with your trophies and your shelves, and Ashley had moved some, I don't know, but I could not stop laughing. I was like, I can't.
Derek's
That's
pretty.
funny.
Derek's funny as fuck.
Yes.
I think
like just low key funny.
Yes.
I think Hernan and I are actually probably like the same. It's kind of weird how
Yes.
similar we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Like your spirit animal.
And I remember
we could do a whole entire podcast with Hernan here when we met and how that went.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was a disaster.
That was
at
what,
first.
2018 or what?
I think it was 2016.
No.
16? Was that when you built your first townhome? That was
We
a while
moved
ago.
into our house in 2017 and we got married in 2017. So I think we met y'all like right at the end of 2016.
Of 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we started hanging out a lot.
Damn, those.
I remember the first time I met Hernan though. I thought he was an asshole.
Yes. And the second time too. Remember?
happened the
'Cause
second time?
At the restaurant as
Yeah.
well, like for Ashley. It was just a chaos. And
Yeah.
he's probably like, this guy's not
both
like me.
both
Yeah.
times, yeah, like they messed up his order and like he was pissed off and like he was just upset naturally, right?
Yeah.
But it's my first time. It's my first
see
impression.
that.
I was like, man, he's an asshole. I was like, dang, I feel sorry for Carol. It's like her,
Yeah.
her husband's an asshole to her.
And the first
he
time that
wasn't.
you guys met him, I also made him go meet us at that Cyclone Anaya
Yes,
or whatever
yeah.
after work, and he didn't want to go. He
Yeah.
was tired, and I was like, "Come meet."
He
these
didn't want to go. He was tired,
Yes.
and then they messed up his order.
Oh
So it
my
was like,
God.
I was like, dang, I don't know if I'm gonna like this guy.
Yes.
He's kind of like.
So in
But then
20
turns out we're the same person. And
so what is this 2017? So 20 when you met them, have you left your construction job yet or not yet?
no, she was still
Okay, so
working.
you're
I'm
still
still
working.
working there.
I think that's actually the reason you reached out to Ashley initially, because we were building our townhome, and you're like, hey, I can help you guys with some materials if you haven't already.
Yes,
done it. I
probably
think that's-
something like that,
yeah.
like the granite,
Yeah.
the countertops. Yes, and then she was like, "Well, it's all through the company
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
building something like."
Yeah.
Because
how
you
we, like,
guys had a
connected
problem with the
initially.
color. Remember, Ashley didn't like.
She didn't like the
something that.
backsplash or something. Yeah, yeah.
So I was still working for my construction company. Yes.
And then when you left and you know, obviously you weren't making money, like when do you feel like was your breakthrough?
So I kind of knew I could make it because when I decided to quit my job, I saved for 3 months
Nice.
to kind of have a little cushion because we had just bought the townhome. And I never wanted to put Hernan, even though Hernan could handle both of us, I just never wanted to put him in a position to where he had to feel. We've always been a partnership, always been 50-50.
Yeah, 50-50. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so I said, I don't want to, I don't want to put him in this situation. So I'm going to save for 3 months. And I told him, I said, I'm giving myself 3 months. If not, I go back to my job. Or if they don't want to hire me anymore, I go back and find work anywhere. And literally the moment that I put everything into social media, I never used my savings. Never.
Wow,
Not one
nice.
month. I was able to just keep growing and growing and growing. And that's when I was like, okay, I can do this. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
At that time, was your focus more fitness, or has it always been kind of the same? You know, like the
Fitness.
fashion type.
yeah, no, at that time I feel like it
More
was
fitness.
a lot fitness and blogs. My audience loves my day-to-day life.
Just your day to day.
Like,
Do you
it's
speak Spanish in your vlogs? So all Spanish.
Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's
did
what
you-
it's like. Most of her viewers are from like South America.
Nice.
There's a really
Damn.
huge
yeah.
following there.
Damn. So like when you do the YouTube videos, did you put like captions or no? For like any English, you didn't give a fuck about the English. Like,
No,
hell,
well, because
fuck these people.
Second language.
Y'all be learning. Y'all better learn.
and also the way I talk is very not proper. It's very slang. If I put translation, people are gonna get mad at me because
That's
it's
true.
gonna make no sense.
Yeah.
So unless I have a translator that I tell them what I'm what
Exactly what it
saying?
means. Yeah.
I don't think it'll.
Yeah, so if you go to your video right now, turn on the captions, it's going to be kind of all over the place.
It's not gonna make any sense.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's just say 2018, 2019.
You got
as
a
you
whole
s-
timeline over here, bro.
yeah,
Damn.
As you start to kind of like grow your social media, like when do you feel like you landed your, I guess you would, say like sponsorship, but your biggest like, okay, this is my moment. Like, okay, this is what I want to do with the social media and I'm making good money. Like, when did you feel like that was the moment?
So when I started, when brands start reaching out to me
Yeah.
to pay me to post about products that I already used, so to me that was kind of like, wait, what?
Why not?
I
Yeah, yeah.
mean, my first big campaign was with Walmart. And they reached out to me for home and decor, and I was like, really, you want to pay me to like promote things that I already
Yeah.
own or whatnot? And
Yeah.
so that to me was crazy. And so I did that, and then just organically, like little by little, companies started reaching out to me, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say though. I don't know because there's contracts with these companies, but like I get a contract with a company where we're talking about well above $10,000 for a campaign, for a single campaign. And that's when I thought, I was like, this is the niche. This is where
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can't turn that down.
this is
Yeah.
where you're, This is where it is.
So it's like the products you've already bought, you're already using, and then they're just like reaching out to
Or
you.
it gives you an excuse to buy more stuff, right?
Yes, absolutely.
absolutely.
Like right now,
You're like,
I'm
"What?"
about to do a campaign for holiday with like Marshall and Home Goods. That's the dream.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I was doing
Yeah.
the call yesterday with
Dang.
all the things.
So you do stuff more with like big box brands. It's
Yeah.
not like
Yes.
these little e-commerce
Yes.
online. Like you're doing stuff for Target, Walmart.
Yes,
like,
Target. I've been working with Target for over a
Reebok.
year, and I love them
Yeah.
because they give us so much freedom on to choose. I mean, it's Target, right?
Yeah.
You can choose whatever, but Walmart is a little bit different because you can buy anything, but they do focus. They're like, okay, so we're promoting this product,
Yeah.
and so if I use it, great. If not, I'm like, send it to me. I'll try it. I'll see if it integrates, and then
Yeah.
we'll see. But Target, they literally just like, you know,
Yeah.
1 month I can do beauty, the next month I can do home, the next month
Yeah.
I can do. It's
I don't.
just
I don't feel like I've really seen you ever push a lot of like fitness brands, or you never really had like a main one that
did push
you,
Motive,
you worked with. Yeah. Aside from like obviously us as your friends, but
Teardrop.
I don't think you worked as with any like bigger fitness brands.
clothing. No shoes. Shoes I've worked with Reebok
Right.
and Nike.
Yeah.
I'm talking like e-commerce brands,
Like influencer backed brands,
yeah, like
essentially.
influencer stuff. Like
Got
that.
it.
Like you never did
No.
like I'm sure you could have been a Gymshark athlete if you wanted to,
Yeah.
right? So
So like with all the social media stuff and brands reaching out to you, has like any agency said like, hey, like we'd like to work with you rather than because you're independent.
Yeah.
Like where did you say like, hey, no, I don't want to do that. I want to be like my own person.
Mainly because I'm afraid.
Okay.
I'm afraid that they will push me to do things that I don't want to do. I'm
Yeah.
afraid that my content would be, all about
It's like a billboard.
yes,
it won't
don't
be
want it-
organic.
yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like it's all about the money because money obviously it's important. This
Yeah.
is my job.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that, but I have heard there's great stories, but I've also heard a lot of like stories where influencers get just in
Yeah,
the wrong
steered down
direction,
wrong path,
and
yeah.
I'm just so afraid of that I've talked. I don't know. I go back and forth with Hernan because there's a point where I just cannot handle
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one that reads contracts. I'm the
Yeah.
ones that, I negotiate everything. And Hernan's like, you need help. You
Yeah.
need somebody to help you.
Well, maybe it doesn't have to be an agency, but it could be more like an assistant or something.
Well,
that,
I had one,
yeah.
and it took me forever to train her, and I loved her, and then she,
She left.
left. And so I don't want to go through
Yeah.
that heartbreak again.
Yeah.
I dreamt that she would come back. That's how much I miss her. I
Yeah.
dreamt
She
she
was a VA, right?
Did you text her and say you missed her?
Like a virtual assistant. She wasn't here, right?
No, she was here. She would come to my house.
Oh, what? Damn. I
She
never
was
met her.
amazing.
I never met her. Damn.
The virtual person is who helped with Kuya.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Okay.
No, she does. Well, you can call her an assistant as well, but she was when we had the boutique.
Yeah.
She would take care of everything behind, like the
Nice.
page,
Yeah,
the
the
like, all of
websites
that.
and shit. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that was different. Right now, I'm talking about just like me, Carol Del Toro, as
Yeah,
like
yeah.
contracts, campaigns, and all of
Yeah.
that. It does get overwhelming. It is a lot.
I do have an amazing lawyer for contracts, so if you ever need that. But anyways,
Oh, good to know.
amazing lawyer. He's very expensive, but he's amazing.
It's good. Well,
He handles all of my shit and all our shit. But yeah, anyways, so with social media as it's growing, it's cool that you work with big box brands because like with many influencers that we see, like they're always working with like smaller brands, right? Like or they're just doing like Amazon, like to know it. Like it's a very different. It's a crazy industry because even though we've been in social media for such a long time, like what I've come to realize that as we step out of the fitness realm, there's so many realms. Like I had no fucking clue. Like, because we were in a bubble, right? Like the fitness bubble was so crazy.
yes.
And I mean, of course, like all these influencers are making a fuck ton of money, right? But in reality, like fitness is so small compared to like things you're doing, like the home and decor and the fashion stuff. Like so much bigger, and so much more
home
massive.
improvement.
Yeah, dude.
Gaming. Like
You know,
there's so many
It did
different.
take me a little bit to realize exactly that because since Derek mentioned my audience and content was so fitness related,
Yeah.
I did get kind of like a pushback of people when I tried to expand because I tried to do it like slowly and organically so people won't be like, I probably lost a lot of following as well that only followed me for fitness content.
Yeah.
But when I realized the opportunities like to work with these big brands, I said no. Even if I suffer for a little bit, I need to push
Yeah.
through because this is where it is. And I don't know if you guys remember, there was a little bit of a time frame where I would do fitness challenges
Oh yeah.
where
remember.
I loved it. People loved it, and I do miss it because it kept me motivated as well. Because
Yeah.
I would do it with them, and I
Yeah.
would be there. But these fitness challenges would take me, for the life of me, I would sit there and answer emails all day,
Yeah.
and then I would get. I mean, it was good money, but it was just like once I got that first contract, for example, that
It wasn't
I was
worth
like,
it. Yeah.
what am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm sitting here answering emails like an idiot. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have to work a month to get not even the full amount that I'm getting paid by,
Yeah.
you know,
Like Target or yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a
the
huge
the
lump
time
sum.
and effort wasn't being
Yeah,
paid.
so I
Yeah.
was
right,
like,
is the
no,
better-
I'm sorry, I'm out of this. Like, I just, I can't. I love it. I do. There's girls that did challenges with me that I'm still in contact with because it's such a cool connection. But just like money wise, I was like, no, this is not gonna take me anywhere. Like, I just need to, move.
So with social media now, like, are you still doing YouTube or are you just like Instagram? Like, what are you doing right now?
I do I mean, I started with YouTube. I miss YouTube. I love
Same.
YouTube.
I
I
do
gotta
miss it
say
too,
that
yeah.
it's my favorite
Yeah.
platform.
I agree.
But I'm doing more Instagram just because it brings majority of the
Yeah.
income. But I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm
Trying
gonna
to
do
get back into
Vlogmas this year.
Oh, yeah.
Like
that's-
YouTube is very difficult, but it is definitely like the one platform that has never changed. Because like Instagram is constantly evolving. You obviously have TikTok, but like with YouTube, same. Just hey, just post your long form. That's it. Like
You have a
it's-
TikTok?
very
I
consistent.
do.
You do TikTok
do.
too?
I had to. I
Yeah.
was kind of pushing back, but a lot of brands are like,
Well, it's really like
You
that's
know,
where it's
we-
really
yeah.
blowing up right now. A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're just consistent on TikTok,
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
we're trying like every avenue, but so like okay, social media has kind of groomed you to be honestly a really successful businesswoman. So you've had multiple businesses, right? Some of obviously Carol Del Toro is your brand,
Yes.
but then also like your other two brands. You started Kuya,
yeah.
and Kuya is a boutique brand,
Yes.
correct? And then like how did you get started in that?
I've always loved fashion,
Yeah.
and it was kind of one of those things that Belen and I always wanted to. We would shop.
Yeah, you
at,
do that with your sister,
Yes.
correct? Okay.
So we used to shop at Mango in Ecuador. That was one of our favorite. It's still
Big brand right now.
Yeah.
I've
So,
seen it
but
here. Yeah.
Mango's big.
yeah, that was one of like the nicest stores in Ecuador. So we would always go when my dad would let us go shop for like a birthday outfit or whatnot. We would always walk through Mango, and we're like, one day we're gonna have a store. And that's kind of where it started, right? And so when we had a little bit of money to, just invest, because I mean, I'm preaching to the choir, but you know how much money it takes to invest in these clothing
Yeah.
brands. And
A lot.
it's just, and not only the money. Okay, so you invest, we're excited, we're going, we're hitting, when we started, actually, we stopped doing social media. Our full job was
Kuya.
We
Yeah.
had we opened up an office. We were busy as it can be, shooting
Yeah.
product, posting product, keeping it updated. It's just, it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
I just
It is.
thinking
Yeah.
about it gives
Yeah.
me anxiety because I love the end result, but the back, it was not. It was something that I never expected it would be that much work. I never thought it would pull me away so much from the things that I love doing,
Yeah.
like creating content, doing YouTube, like
Yeah.
because what am I gonna record if I am in a warehouse, all day, not only packaging but email. We were our own customer service. We were everything, pictures, sourcing, our lives became that,
Yeah.
and
Well, it's too bad that we weren't around.
I know.
That's why we built this business.
Yeah.
Well,
That's exactly why we
and
built this.
This is something that we've put a pin on it after the pandemic, and I'll tell you why. But when we opened because we do want to open, because this is a dream that I feel like it can be done. We just need the right people.
Yeah.
Because we try to take everything on ourselves.
Yeah.
Now there's companies like you guys that we can just do the part that we love, sourcing, buying, and you take care of the rest.
Yeah, and the marketing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like with business, with apparel, like obviously there's so many different realms, right? There's the boutique side, there's the, print on demand, there's the local print shops, but then there's also like the cut and sew, like overseas or here.
Yeah.
Like what people don't understand is fashion is an ever-changing thing.
Yeah.
And with what your business was, it was always keeping up with the times.
Yes.
And if a launch didn't go well, you still had to put more money in.
Yes.
And that's where like people get scared and like
Yep.
kind of dip back and be like, fuck, like I spent 40,000 on this drop. Like, damn, I only brought in 100,000. Damn, and I need to invest another 100,000, whatever, right? Yeah, I mean, it's a fun industry, but it's like what also people don't understand is like you work a 9 to 5, and then everybody has the aspiration of starting their own business.
Yeah.
But then you actually end up working 24/7
Yeah.
rather than a 9 to 5 because you're always thinking about it like
Yeah.
constantly. I mean, Derek and I are always thinking about ways to grow this business,
Yeah.
keep it afloat. Like it's tough, and so it's definitely
Not everybody's willing to take the risk, though.
Yeah.
And
Not
Edwin
everybody
says
does, right,
that
yeah.
all the time.
yeah. Yeah.
He's like, I'm the first one to say that I respect what you do
Yeah.
and I admire it, but
Yeah.
I don't. I'm better off. And I'm like, but you work so much. And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, but when I request my days off, I get them off.
Off, yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
never have a day off.
If he gets them off.
Yeah, well, but when when he does,
Yeah.
right? But it's just you need to be built differently, I would
Yeah.
say, and that's not to put shade on people that work 9 to 5 because
Yeah.
that's great on people
Yeah.
that do, and
just a
some
different
people love it.
mindset.
No, it's like
different
Jess.
mindset.
Yeah, Jess and I, like, we know like our strengths and weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, she's not made to own a business, and that's okay. She's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
She loves like kind of like Edanan. She loves what she does, growing a company, having these goals, and getting promoted. She loves that shit too. You know, 'cause you make a
And
fuck
having
ton
a
of money.
401k and
Yeah,
not
yeah,
having
yeah.
to do
Stable,
your own
yeah.
401k.
Yeah, and you make a great amount of money too
Yeah.
doing it. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, with a business like yours, like that's kind of why we opened this business. Is like everything that you're talking about, like all the problems, is literally what we do, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways,
But we've also experienced, on the other side, we've experienced
The same
it ourselves,
same
right?
problems.
So we understand all that. So we understand
Yeah.
how to better assist or help
Yeah.
people. So
but yeah, hopefully we see
translated.
Kuya.
Yes.
Kuya.
We'll
Pull that
be
pin back out.
when
Yeah.
Yeah.
when we're ready. But yeah, like it's just.
Yeah.
Sometimes I miss it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, like I miss this, and then I start thinking about going back to everything that
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
let's
Never
hold
mind.
off a little, because I feel like just now I am enjoying.
You have a flow in your life.
Yes.
Yeah, you have breaks when you want it.
Yes.
Yeah, with the clothing
yes.
business, it is
So
virtually impossible.
I was taking on like there was a moment where I was doing the boutique, social media, trying to challenges. I was like so many things, and money was great,
Yeah,
but mental
yeah,
sanity, it was
Yeah.
not there. And I had to reel back in and just say, like, I'm in my 20s back
Yeah.
then, and is really like, is this really how I want to? No.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, and that's
I-
good that you had the luxury to do that too, right? Because like in the course of business, like I mean, like starting any business, your business, like you're eating shit for like the first 3 years. Your business is constant grind, putting money back in. Like us, we're hiring more employees, taking on more overhead, and then like you as the business owner suffer the most. You know, that's just the way it goes. You know, but so you have Kuya, which the pin will be pulled back pretty soon. And then you have Blossom. You know, Blossom is your luxury business, right? So tell us a
Sourcing.
little. Yeah, how did you get into that? I know you love luxury stuff, but like, how did you take the? You know, you are a risk taker, but how did you take the leap to want to do that?
Well, because so we had initially when we put a pin on Kuya, it has a lot to do with that. We are left with this just some money to invest.
Yeah.
And I won't go too deep into it, but like tax purposes, you kind of need to invest it because otherwise you'll be taxed on that. And, you know, so we're like, okay, let's wait a little bit because of the pandemic. We had some things stuck in the port, and when we got them, the season had passed. And so just like a lot of problems. And
nightmare.
Belen and I are looking to like, okay, where to invest? Where do we were thinking about like opening up a party venue, to rent out a party venue, like all these different things. And then in one of these trips, we go on a trip, and I'm talking to Bianca, one of our other, and she's like, well, you know, I'll be, whatever you guys are wanting to do, like I'll be willing to invest as well. And so that's where the talk starts. And we're like, okay, what can we do that we're all passionate about? Because this is not just about like throwing money and just like saying we're going to do this, right? Like, what do we all love? And I think it was just a joke that we said, like, well, buying like shit that we can't afford, like luxury shopping. We just laughed. And then that's kind of the conversation where it started. And we're like, you know, there's a lot of people that need sourcing, need help like finding these things or getting them at better deals. And so we said, okay, let's do it. Let's put this money in there. Let's talk about a comfortable amount that we're all, you know, that we can all be equal partners. And let's start. And let's just see. The good thing about Blossom is that unlike Kuya, you don't need to put in so much money at the beginning because we're sourcing things that people want. So you're not bringing in, we could, but that's not what we're doing. Like you would need like $100,000 to buy you know, some for designer items. You know what I mean?
Purses.
And so we're like, let's just go, let's put in some money. Let's get this going, like the business, you know, I'm saying putting money because the setting up the company, it's expensive, the lawyers, the contracts, the filing with the state of Texas and all of that. And we're like, let's just buy a couple of things. Let's get started with what that sells, and we'll keep bringing more. And so we did that, and it was great. People love luxury. And what we offer that's a little bit different, it's like, okay, don't get in debt if you can't afford a luxury item. Let us get in debt. We will buy it for you, and you pay us
in increments.
And then we ship it once you're done paying. We do have a sourcing fee because obviously we're in business, right? We're not doing things for free.
Absolutely.
But it is significantly less that you would pay any credit card company and anything. I mean, it's just a one-time fee. And you're done.
So the payments, there's no like interest on their payments or anything that you guys make extra money off of?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
It's just one-time fee.
One-time
now,
fee.
the way the business works is in some items we can make more money, in some a little bit less. But like if it's a sold-out item that's not available in the U.S., we have connections in Europe where they can get that item. And those are the money makers. Because people that want an item, they're willing to pay a lot more. A lot more.
How'd you find those connections?
We won't go into that. That's the secret sauce.
Yeah, we won't let you get your
So like out of the two, I guess 3 businesses, Carol Del Toro.
My friends live in Europe.
No,
So that, you know, obviously you have your third business, which is Carol Del Toro. When do you feel like out of the 3 businesses you've owned and you've kind of like been in the trenches, what do you feel like your strongest suit is like in your business?
Well, as in, like, which business or
like,
in myself?
As, like,
what's my?
What's your strongest
attribute you feel like in business?
I feel like probably I'm gonna give you 2 because to me it's like organization and my determination. So I am a pretty organized person. Very, very organized. And I live that way. Like even, you know, in my home. The way I live my life.
We see you shouting at Anon.
Hurry up, pick the shit up.
Well, I am a pretty, I am the one that organizes and has a structure. So I'm really good at having a structure. And I feel like that's very important in owning a business.
Absolutely.
Because nobody else is going to set that structure for you.
If
you don't wake up and you don't organize your content, if you don't answer your emails, if you don't, the whole day can go by and you can get 0 done.
Yeah.
So I'm good in organization, and that's also that I brought into all the other businesses as well. With Belu and Bianca, we have a schedule.
Yeah.
So this week, this time, you take care of the DMs, you take care of the sourcing, you take care of the this. We were doing everything. Right now, we hired an accountant because when you're sourcing thousands of dollars, it was just becoming, I was like, I don't need this responsibility, nor I want it. So we hired a CPA that can handle all the money.
Yeah.
We're just worrying about pushing, sourcing, and promoting.
Yeah.
And so all of that organization, I feel like I am good at. And determination in the fact that I am never afraid of failing.
Yeah.
I don't,
Sound like me.
I do not care.
Yeah.
Like, if for me, Kuya, there's a pin in it. A lot of people sometimes would say like, oh yeah, that didn't finish, that didn't pan out. And even if it doesn't, who cares? I learned from it.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a great experience.
Yeah.
I learned so much from it.
Yeah.
And so I'm never afraid of failing. I'm never afraid of people telling me I'm doing the wrong thing or I'm not doing it right. I don't care.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, so
I
you
don't
learned
give a
what you
fuck either.
and you from that you learned what you really enjoy and what you're good
Yeah.
at, and now you're pursuing that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything is a learning experience at the end of the day.
Yeah.
100%.
sure.
100%.
Fail forward is what they say, right?
And now as I, like, even in my personal life, like, it's crazy how things that didn't matter in my 20s matter now.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've never thought I would say. Like, it's just like, for example, doing our wedding, getting married. I never cared when I was in my 20s. All I cared about was buying a house, buying another house, doing this, renovating, traveling. Like, that was my focus.
I
And
remember
now
that,
at 30, I'm like, I see my parents. We go through a health scare with my mom. My mom's dream is to see me walk down the aisle, and all I think is like, how selfish am I?
Yeah.
Like, to not give them this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, you just sit back and you see, and I'm like,
You gonna
they
cry or
moved
what?
a whole
She's
country,
getting emotional.
you know?
We love it. We love it. No, I
Yeah.
feel the same way. It's like
Love the
it's
passion.
the cycle of growing up is so wonderful, you know, because like there's three phases that that I learned about being a parent is like I hate it, I love it, and then there's like one more about being like a parent or just being like a human, and so like. Fuck, I forgot the third phase. That's gonna bother me now. God damn it. So yeah, I mean, like, I feel the same way. Like, once you cross your 30s, you're like, man, like, the shit that I did in my 20s or like thought was important in my 20s is like completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know, like now when you're in your 30s, like, and I think like, you know, we're kind of crossing social media too, like, but in social media, like, what's important to all these kids, and this is kind of why we also have this business too, is like we're also helping like younger generation, like the fitness side, because that's kind of where we grew up, right? Is all the mistakes that they made and like all the things that they thought were wonderful, they'll learn that isn't so great. It's like the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And like with business, it's the same. Like people thought like, oh, I'm gonna open a business. I'm gonna order 1,000 units. I'm gonna sell 1,000 units in that first weekend, and then I'm gonna double my income. Like it's not like that.
No.
Like what people don't understand in the course of businesses, and honestly, like I translate business with like every aspect of life. It's like with fitness, like you don't see an immediate result. One workout doesn't make an immediate result. 1 year doesn't make an immediate result, but one fucking decade of doing it has a crazy turnout. And so anything in business, like with business, like 2 years may not be a long time. 5 years may not be a long time, but a fucking 10 years in that business, like, because you've been doing this for what, 6 years, 7 years?
Yeah, almost full time.
Yeah, and it's crazy, like,
Yeah.
you know, it passed by like this.
Oh my God, yes.
It's wild, but like,
yes.
but in the course of like doing anything, you have to, in my opinion, it's not just maybe 3 years, but it may also be a whole fucking decade of doing it.
Or more than that.
Yeah, to really realize like, holy shit, like this is like the shit that I've done. This is the shit that we thought was gonna be good, but wasn't good. So yeah, I mean, every decade of life is also translated, in my opinion, to like your decades of business. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I think if you're not or if you are the same person, right, from your 20s to 30s, or you're not like changing in any way, or like getting smarter, or looking back on your failures, or things like that, then you're not really growing as a person, right? So
Jay-Z said
I
that
think
to
that's
Beyonce, though.
I think that's
what you just said.
really.
Yeah, she's like, Jay-Z said, like, if I'm the same person I was like a decade ago, like I was never evolving or some shit. like
Yeah,
that.
I mean that's
I
true
can never
though, right?
fucking remember everything.
You should
Yeah.
be, as like a human, like you should be looking back,
Growing.
and then learning from your past, and like growing as a person, right? But it's crazy that there are people out there that don't.
Yeah.
That you can probably name somebody that is still like
I can
the
name a lot of
same-
people.
Yeah, so
I can name a lot of people. Yeah.
I think it's just part of like life for.
Yeah, I mean, even like when we went into this business, like I was like, man, all the clients that I'm building brands for, all the brands that I'm building, they're gonna do this volume every single month.
I mean, Daniel,
and
he's
then
a hype-
Relay, like,
hype
yeah,
person.
and Relay, we had.
You need that.
Yeah,
That's
facts.
a great
Yeah.
sales. Like,
I'm the visionary,
Yes.
you know. But
I mean,
Yes.
obviously, Daniel and I are complete opposites, so that's
Yin
why
and
it
yang.
works, right? So
that's
Yeah.
why it works and it balances out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm the same way with Hernan. That's why I feel like we're, and
Yeah,
same
yeah.
with that. I feel like opposites attract, and you need that balance.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
in business, a lot of people don't understand that. But
No.
yeah, no, that's good because
It's never somebody. There's never one person. People always get confused, or like they'll hype up one person. Oh, this guy started this, right? Like, oh, Bill Gates did this, or Steve
Yeah.
Jobs, right? They don't realize that there was also probably a second person that is
Yeah.
the opposite, right? The more person behind the doors, the integrator that's actually bringing the vision to life, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's always two.
My dad says that all the time. He
Yeah.
says that he would not be in the position that he's in if it was without my mom. Like, he always says that. He's like, your mom always knew how to like take the back seat,
Yeah.
but in reality, she was always the leader. Like, she always knew how to, like, when he
a valid
got,
point.
when people stole from him, she was like, I'm not going to blame you. I'm not going to say you put the money there, you did this, you did that. Don't worry, we'll build that back up. Meanwhile, I'm going to pick up jobs. I'm going to get going. I'm going to do this. I'm going to learn how to be a dispatch. My mom learned how to dispatch for my dad, and eventually they grew the company because of my mom. And so everyone sees us like my dad is the owner and the front-facing man of it. But my dad always says, it's your mom that put us in this position.
Yeah.
And that's why
Yeah.
now she gets to rest and get whatever she wants and buy whatever and because she sacrificed so much for us
Yeah.
to be here.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because everyone sees, my dad's company. It's like, oh, he's the owner.
Yeah.
And it's like, in reality, but my mom is the one that knows how
Yeah.
to.
Women, bro, you
So-
can't.
so
you
looking-
can't live with them. You can't live without them.
Yeah.
So now that we're kind of like reflecting right now, what are some things that you learned from seeing your parents as entrepreneurs that you like are adamantly applying to your businesses today?
That you never give up. Never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you keep go. If you believe in it, you keep going. And it doesn't matter if you spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, if you can spend 100 hours. But whatever it is, just put a little seed every day on it.
Yeah.
And it will eventually pay off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like that. You can get knocked down, and then you just, it's just, you get back up, and that's what it is.
You're
If you get
definitely-
knocked down, you can't go,
Yeah.
you're down. Like, the only way you can go is right back up.
I was gonna
So,
say you're definitely one of the more determined people that I've met in my life, for sure.
Yep. Yep.
Which is a great thing. As a friend, it can be frustrating, right? Because it's
know,
like
we never
we're
see each
Yeah, we
other.
never see each other.
I was going to text him, can you bring me Jameson, please? I have not met him.
Yeah.
Our doors are open. You know that.
Like, he looks
Yeah.
so big already.
Yeah. He's like almost 3 months. Yeah.
It's crazy. But
Yeah.
we just, and that's, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
it's just the kind of the odds of having all friends that are entrepreneurs
Yeah.
that we just
Yeah,
are
it's like,
focused
hey,
on our own
are you
thing.
free this day? It's like, no, I got this. And then it's always like everybody's always doing something in
I
some
know.
capacity, but
And business is
it's part of it.
Yeah, business is definitely like a give and take. Like, I read somewhere that like, I always forget. So like, work-life balance is never a thing for entrepreneurs. It does not exist. But what I realize is, again, being in your 30s, you realize when to take a pause and when to realize that, like, if you don't answer this phone call or this text, like, the world is not going to burn. I finally realized that. Like, it took me 7 years, like, as my own business, like, owner, as a business owner myself, to really understand, like, okay, like, that's so proper,
Yeah.
you know?
It is important to take those moments and
Absolutely.
and step back and either hang out with family or
Yeah.
friends or like just go to dinner or go on a date. So it is good to have those moments because it is so easy for us to just work, get caught up. We have to do this, and this.
And don't you guys feel bad sometimes? And I'm working on it still, but don't you feel guilty when you're not working? As in,
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
oh my God. I'm like,
Yeah.
I am my own, but like, I feel guilty if I'm not doing something. I'm
yeah.
like, even if I'm on vacation, I'm like, I might as well do a reel. I might as well do this. I might as well do something.
Yeah.
And then it's like, can you
Yeah.
chill?
Yeah.
And it's just like that guilt that I'm like, no, I need to be producing.
Yeah.
I'm wasting time and money if I'm not doing something.
Yeah.
And that's not okay.
For me, it's like, so last weekend we went to California for our anniversary and I took 2 days off here. But like during those 2 days, of course, like stuff is delivering and, they're doing stuff. Like I was just like telling Ashley, I was like, I feel like I should be there, like I feel so guilty not being able to help them. But like, I think that just comes from the type of leader we are, right? Like I want to be in there with my team working. I don't just want to be like, hey, you guys got this. I'll be in my office or whatever, So that's where that guilt comes from is like, I feel like I should be there with them working and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean,
One thing that
at the end of
changes
the day,
you,
like, the warehouse didn't burn down, right? Like they got it done and, so I'm
Everything was
just like,
here when you came
everything's
back.
good back,
Yeah.
so.
one thing that changes you as kids. Yeah, because like Jess is always telling me like I've read this everywhere too, where it's like they don't care that you have a business. They don't care
Right.
that like, whatever you have to do.
Yeah,
like,
they don't understand it, right?
They don't. Yeah, they don't. All they know is like when I'm home, they're like, "Daddy's home."
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, like I don't want to answer any phone calls anymore.
Yeah.
That's like the magical thing.
Yeah.
But
I think I do a pretty good job of trying not to bother you. when
Yeah,
you're,
I
like,
won't-
with your family.
yeah, and I'm usually pretty prompt too. Like we're all the same. Like if someone hits our line and it's like for business, we're like, all right, real quick, babe, real quick, let me take this phone call. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or
you
we'll
also know
assess,
when.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like
Yeah.
I would text him sometimes, like, let's talk about this in the morning or whatever,
Yeah.
But Daniel gets excited about stuff. He like wants to FaceTime.
Yeah, he would.
we hype men. We trying to grow our business.
But that's one of the things too, that when you get an idea, you want to like,
Yeah, you wanna just-
immediately
I'm
want to
always like that.
elaborate. Yes.
I just type it in caps. I do that shit a lot. But
Yeah.
I have an idea. I'll be saying that shit
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
No, I pull my notes on my phone and I'm like, real quick, I'm like this, because otherwise I'll go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And
I'm like that a
so
lot.
I get it.
So do you have any? So what are your future goals? I know we talked about Kuya possibly coming back. Whatever you guys decide. Blossom's going well, but do you have any goals or since we're talking about ideas for anything in the future?
I'm always open to anything. Like I am game. I wish I had more time and hours during the day, but like one of our biggest goals, and we've always wanted this with Hernan and I, it's to own more property, to remodel. Like that's just my niche, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I want to go back to that. I want to utilize the I would say the time and the money that we have now to invest into that. Like we're talking about maybe like a rental property vacation where we can go
Yeah.
vacation, and then as well as like an Airbnb or
Same.
something.
Yeah.
That's something in the future. I've always loved to have projects that I can plan, and like for example, building the guest house in our home.
Yeah.
That kind of thing like excites me. It gives
Yeah.
me like, I'm like, this is cool. So I love that. That's something like I would say next step we want to do. We want to travel more. So as far as like work, luckily I'm pretty blessed to where I can manage my job, but I also want to enjoy life. So I want to travel more. I want to, be more time with my family. Now I try to see them at least once or twice a day. Just to touch on what we were saying later, it's kind of like, I know I'm not old. Like, come on, I'm in my 30s.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, this is the time I want to take advantage and spend with my mom,
Yeah.
with my sisters, with my nieces, with my nephews. And so as far as like business, I feel like if there's an opportunity, I'm gonna jump on it because I know myself. But as of now, kind of like keep growing what I have, and just put that quality time on family, friends that we should probably. This is why I plan parties to reel you guys into my house because
Hey.
we need to hang out.
Yeah.
But like, family, friends that I
Yeah.
love and care about, and just enjoying my life with, Hernan. And
Because one thing, I always look to the future for, like, honestly, everything I do is like, when you're on your deathbed, you're never going to care about how many hours you've worked. You're never going to care. You're always going to reflect back on like the good moments in your life and like the parties, like with your close friends and family. And that's it. Like, that's all you're going to care about. You're not going to care about how much money you have, how much money you've made, the companies you've built. You're just going to look back on the quality time with your loved ones. That's all you're really going to care about.
yeah.
That has really like transformed myself. Like, when I'm on my deathbed, what do I think about?
Yeah.
And those are like the decisions that steer me,
And
Yeah.
it's crazy. And it
Yeah.
prompts you to think,
Yeah.
like when I saw my mom in that hospital bed,
It's over like that sometimes.
immediately I was like, what's important right now? And I asked I was like, if you weren't in this situation right now, like what was my regret?
Yeah.
And my regret was that. My regret was not giving my mom
More time. Yeah.
the opportunity to see me get married.
Yeah.
Like that's something that she always asked for, and I was always like, no, I don't.
I want a house. I remember that conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and again, and when I saw her in there, I said, I am selfish.
Yeah.
This is not okay.
Yeah.
And no, she didn't ask me to throw a party or to do anything. She asked me to walk down the aisle with my dad and for her to see me get married in the faith that we were raised in. That's all she asked me for. The party and all of that came, by my, because that was not asked by
That
my
was a
mom.
fun party.
But that's
even
all
remember
I'm
it now.
saying. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just moments like that you think and you're like, if I get the opportunity, and I pray to God and I said, please God, if you give me my mom in health, and she's able to, I will give her the one thing that she asked me for, and I can give it to her, and so it's that you just admire and you start valuing things that you didn't value before.
Yeah.
And same with Hernan and our relationship right now. Like, we don't have kids, and I know that will shake you and change you. But most of the time, I would stay up editing because I was like, I'm wasting time. If I'm going and I'm laying down with him, I'm wasting time because I could be editing. I could be doing this. I could be doing that. And now like you said, Derek, I stop. And I hate laying down, but he loves to lay down and just watch TV.
Yeah.
And so around 7 or 8, when he's already cooking, I'm like, okay, I need to eat. We clean up the kitchen, we this and that, and then we both lay down in bed. And I'm thinking, like, it's okay. This is our quality time. Like, we talk about it. We love to watch shows and comment and back and forth. And that's our quality time right now because we don't have any kids. We don't, we bond over that. And I've stirred away from like, oh, I could be doing this.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to turn your brain off, right?
Yeah.
That's like exactly what Ashley and I do. It's just we kind of have that set time of we start working around 6 or 7, right? Or she does at least because she's like you. She can work all night if she could, right? So we just take that time to stop working and then spend those few hours every night of hanging out, cooking, watching TV, or just kind of catching up or whatever. But it's good, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a refreshing, and it's kind of like a reset for the next day.
Yeah.
Because if you
feels
just kept
good.
working, right, then you wake up the next day and then you feel like you haven't talked to Hernan, or or you feel like you're just kind of like scatterbrained. So it's good to have that structure. It's really good.
100%. And it took a little while, but we're there. So hopefully we can,
I remember. Yeah, we've had those conversations.
Yes.
I remember she was like, guys, I gotta
Hopefully you guys can have kids.
I gotta stop working so much and hang out with people. And
Yeah.
hey, they might.
My kids need more friends.
Wait, are they? But Grayson's going to school now.
He has a
right?
lot of friends, but you can never have enough friends when you're that age.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he has a ton of friends. Yeah, that's a good thing.
I think I think that's a good stopping point for us to cross the finish line.
Yeah.
Carol, thank you so much for coming on our podcast and
Thanks for having me.
letting people get to know you on a deeper level. Hopefully,
We'll translate in Spanish.
hopefully somebody resonated with you and your journey in life, right? So, Yeah, thanks for joining us on Relay
Absolutely.
Radio. And
Thanks for
we'll-
having me anytime.
Yep.
Remember, I'm the only guest that has answered 4 questions out of the 5.
That's facts though. That's facts.
We gotta look. I gotta ask Austin.
No one
We'll have
has
to check.
no one has hit 4. That's a guarantee. I know
Yeah.
that.
Really?
Alex hit like 3, I think.
Yeah, you can wrap it up.
Thank you guys.
We never
never finish?
memorize
Never hit
anything.
the end?
No, we just never memorize it.
Yeah.
It's like we're always reading off of our phones.
Thank you to the listeners at home for tuning in. Together, we will sprint towards a purpose-driven future, celebrating the power of business, entrepreneurship, and the transformative impact that it can create.